Hey guys, so as you can see from the intro, my Sawyer filter is no more, and I thought I would make a bit of a video to share with you why this happened and why I need to get a new filter. So make yourself a cup of coffee or tea, it's story time. Now I'll try and make this a reasonably short story, but basically about a year and a half ago, went on a trip to Kosciuszko with a friend, and as usual brought my Sawyer filter. And when I went to filter the water, I had basically zero flow through it. Now, I take care of this thing pretty good. Every time I come home from a trip, I'd give it a back flush with tap water, make sure it's dried out properly, and then store it. So I was really surprised and kind of curious why there was basically zero flow through it. Thankfully, my friend had another one of these filters, which was actually brand new. He just got it for that trip, so he managed to use that. But I was still kind of trying to do in-field fixes and find out why there was basically zero flow coming from this thing. So even though you're not meant to, I did unscrew this filter. I forced it open just to have a look inside. I thought maybe there was something stuck inside of there, clogging up the end or something. But yeah, I couldn't find any issues with it whatsoever. So it was pretty much done for the trip. I packed it all away, and we just used my friend's filter, and I just kind of waited till I got home to investigate this a little bit further. So when I got home, I learned two things very quickly. Number one, like I said, you're not meant to unscrew these things. I didn't know beforehand. And number two, the filters actually get clogged up apparently with calcium. So what had happened with that trip, we were in Kosciuszko, so we were doing kind of a summer hiking camping trip here in Australia. So I normally camp in winter, so I kind of back flush and stored my filter, and I hadn't used it for probably 2 or 3 months by that point, quite a long bit of time. And I didn't do any back flushing or anything after I got home, before the trip. So when I took it out on the trip, it'd been kind of sitting there for quite a long time, and even though it was back flushed before I stored it, it was back flushed with tap water, which has a fair bit of calcium here in Australia anyway, so that had actually completely clogged up the filter. Now, Sawyer does tell you on the website how to kind of fix that issue, and it's a really easy fix. So once I found that out, I did that, and the filter basically completely restored, had no other flow issues or anything like that. And I've been following that procedure for, ever since. Every now and then I just do that hot water vinegar back flush before I store it, or even just before my trips, and I've had absolutely zero flow issues with this thing since. So why did this happen on the trip, and why is it kind of not going back together? Well, the last trip, the day hike, the Mount Solitary day hike video that I posted beforehand, a week or two ago, at the time of making this video. Well, I took this filter and we needed to refill with water. So, got the bag, filled it up with water, and started putting water through. And I don't know if it's going to focus or not. I'll get my face out of the way. It just started leaking all around the middle part of the filter. So I went to try and tighten it, see what was going on, and basically, when you try and get that tight seal on the filter, it starts to skip the threads, and you can't get a proper seal on this thing. So it's at this stage pretty much gone. It just leaks from around the middle bit of the filter, so I think it's going to need replacing, which is unfortunate. What am I going to replace? But it's my fault completely. What am I going to replace this thing with? Well, to be perfectly honest with you, probably another one of these exact same filters. I love the Sawyer filters. I know they've got the Sawyer Mini and the Sawyer Micro out now, but all the research that I've done on them, all the videos that I've watched, people really complain that they clog really quickly. And this thing honestly doesn't. It goes a long time without needing a backflush out in the field. And it doesn't really reduce its flow rate, and it's very easy to maintain and restore almost full flow rate when you get back at home. So it'll certainly be another full Sawyer squeeze rather than any of the mini or the micros. But they're extremely hard to buy in Australia at the moment. None of the camping or the hiking stores have these ones in stock. They all have the minis or the micros now, and it's even really hard to buy from an online store here in Australia. I'm pretty much having to buy from the US, bring one of these in, which is a shame because I like to buy from Australian stores, but they don't have them. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So, you know, in summary, completely my fault. You know, the filter clogged up because I didn't service it properly, and then I unscrewed it to try and service it out in the field, which I shouldn't have done in that fashion. And I guess over time, the threads or whatever was kind of keeping it a little bit more sealed has just kind of worn out and just caused leaks and issues. So I could probably still use it a little bit longer because there's still a rubber O-ring in here, which, you know, prevents any dirty water coming through, and I've got you know, nothing but clean water will come from the membrane here. But it just makes filtering inefficient, and, you know, there's that what if it's not filtering properly and there is a little bit of dirty water getting through or anything. So, you know, definitely I think the smart thing to do is going to be to replace this whole thing. Thankfully not too expensive, it's just a bit of a bummer. But yeah, I hope you guys learned from that. Number one, don't unscrew the filter. Number two, if you are getting really bad flow issues and you are back flushing with tap water before storing, look it up. I'll leave a link directly in the description to the how to fix that, but it's basically hot water and vinegar. So simple. And yeah, overall I hope this has been a little bit of a learning moment, because it's been a bit of a learning moment for me, so thought I'd share. So as always guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope you got something out of this, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, happy trails.